Oh shoot, that's not right. Shouldn't have done that. Hey everybody, Dennis from Lazy Dog here. Actually showing up in camera in person, kind of testing a new setup. Let's see how this goes. Well, as you may have seen in my other videos, I've been slowly working on this Tamiya, my first Tamiya kit, this TT01 Type E chassis with the Volkswagen body kit. I've learned a lot, and it's been really fun. I've actually really enjoyed this. So I thought I'd do a nice reveal so you can see what my finished model looks like, and then maybe I can give you a close-up and show you how the inside looks and the electronics, and then some nice run footage at the end so you can see performance-wise how it comes pretty much standard straight out of the box. The only real upgrade I included was ball bearings instead of the plastic bushings that normally comes with the kit. And I do have one little surprise, little upgrade I did, little modification just for fun, something that caught my eye that I went ahead and tried out. So I'm going to go ahead and move the box here, and there we have it. Oh, I love that color. So the box art, of course, shows it in black. And black's nice. Nothing wrong with black. It's easy to paint. It'd be probably a better option for a first kit, something like that it's hard to mess up. I, of course, decided to change things up, and I went with the Spastic Solid Blue. Now, I love the color. I think this blue is beautiful. I wish I had practiced more with the paint, and that's something I'll come into later of how this is different painting something like these bodies than it is painting scale models or painting Warhammer models or miniature figures that I'm used to painting that used to take up a lot of my time. All right, so you can see the body. I put pretty much all the stickers that come with the kit on it in the right place, mostly. And I think it looks fantastic. I was very hesitant about this body. I'm not a particular fan of this car in real life, but I think at scale, it's really nice. It's a good looking vehicle, and I'm proud of it, especially being my first video. I'm proud of it, and I'm sure this body, despite its flaws, will kind of hold a special place in my heart. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and take the shell off and show off the inside here. Now, as you can see, I got the torque tuned motor. That's the same with its stock. I've got the TBLE04 ESC. Now, this is a beautiful piece of kit here. I love that they included this in here. It's extremely versatile and a great upgrade versus the other years and the other models. The reason I say that is, A, it can accommodate both brushless and brushed motors straight out of the box. You actually change the mode using one of the little push buttons here and a blinking LED pattern. That's fantastic. That's already, upgrade ready. The other thing I like on here is it actually has a high and low mode voltage cutoff, which means it'll cut off at certain voltages to save your battery from being drained too low where it could damage the cells. Now the other models, the TBLE02, I read about only would be set for the nickel metal batteries, where it would set to drain at that voltage, which I'm not going to go into the specifics on numbers. Well, when it comes to lipos, that would actually be too low, and you'd have a strong chance of damaging your batteries in the long run. This one actually has a high and low setting, so when you set it to the high, which is detailed in the instructions, very easy to do, it'll actually set to a safe level for your lipo batteries. So it is lipo ready and brushless ready right out of the box. And you can see here, I paired it to this Radio-Link receiver because I use a Radio-Link transmitter. This R6FG has a built-in gyro, which is pretty cool. I don't know how much use it would be for me, but there wasn't really an option for one without a gyro or any difference in price. So I was able, I can use this 6-channel, even though I only have a 4-channel radio, they're completely compatible. I can use it just fine, turn the gyro on and off, very easy, again, detailed extremely well in the instructions for their transmitter. And it's just a fine radio. I've used it on 2 different models now and 2 different kits. It works just fine, no complaints. I have the servo variant under here. It's hard to see, but it's just a full-size servo I was able to get offline shopping. I tried my local hobby shop nearby. They didn't have a servo I was particularly a fan of, and the ones they did have were honestly way overkill for what I needed. This is, as I mentioned in my other video, I got this kit for $113. I don't want to put a $50 or $40 servo into a $100 kit, especially since I'm not going to be racing, I'm not going to be competing against other cars. This is just for me to have fun, blasting around some nice flat areas. As you can probably notice, I am not the best at wire management. I was able to zip tie this together in a nice bundle. There are a couple side wires here hidden. I'll get into that in a minute. But I was able to wire it away. Underneath this panel is the drive shaft, or the propeller shaft, according to Tamiya. It is plastic, as are the cups that run into the differentials. That's what comes standard in the kit. For what I'm doing, works perfectly fine. But it is an option for an upgrade later on if I go to a much stronger brushless or decide to do some really performance upgrades. Since I'm on a tight budget, I decided not to do all that. Fit and finish wise, this kit is amazing. It almost falls together. Complexity wise, I would put it up there with a medium to high level Connects kit, or a nice high-end Lego kit. One of the things I do love in the instructions is that for each time they list a screw that goes into certain parts, they actually have a life-size picture or diagram of that screw. So if you have two that are close, that are only a couple millimeters apart or a millimeter or two apart, you can actually take the screw, hold it up against the key, and make sure that's the right one. That is a fantastic touch. Because there are different size screws, different shaped screws, and different color screws for the different connecting pieces. And that was a lifesaver. So huge props to them on that. The rest of the kit went together just fine. The plastic is beautiful, it's strong, it's higher quality than any kind of wargaming or standard scale model I've come across. I have no doubt that this will be able to take the beating of running it up and down, running it around. I have no doubt in any of the structural components. Everything looks really nice and fit together extremely well. When they move, you don't hear click clacking, you don't hear rattling. Everything is very smooth and well done. So I have to give them huge props, and I can definitely see where that justifies the cost of being in that triple-digit $100 range. This is definitely the most advanced kit that I have of my cheapish hobby range that I'm very much impressed. So if we move away from that and go to the body, this is where you'll start to notice I had issues. It turns out with these paints, I initially had some just liquid paint I was going to airbrush on because I have an airbrush from scale models and from gaming. This paint, you need to have a 0.5 millimeter or larger needle for your airbrush. I did not know that and did not pay attention. So I tried on my normal skinny, normal wargame airbrushes, and it clogged the airbrush. It was a mess. It was terrible. The other issue is, unlike some acrylics and some other wargaming paints, this stuff will fume you to death. So wear a mask, please wear a mask when you're spraying or using this. Wear gloves when you're spraying or using this. This isn't something you can just casually do in a small apartment without it really, really fuming up. And long term, I'm not a scientist, but let's be honest, fumes like that and plastic getting into your nose and your airway can't be healthy. This paint is different than the usual stuff I use because it has to be built to flex, since this is a soft polycarbonate body. If I was to use Games Workshop or some other model hobby paint on this, as the body flexed after the paint had cured, it would start cracking. The other thing I had to learn and practice with, which is where you'll see most of the kind of mistakes or blemishes, is the stickers. I'm used to water slide decals that give you a little bit longer working time. These are stickers that you have to cut out and trace, and I, so far, am not good at that. You can see I've kind of off-centered the Volkswagen here. You might see some flare around some of the letters. Some lines aren't perfectly straight. You can see some bleed through of the paint backing across the paint. As I tried to smoke the windows, I basically just way oversprayed the smoke paint, which is a spray, it's a can spray paint to give you a tinted look. But since it's so light, it actually got underneath the normal paint and started giving these little crack lines. Honestly, I don't care. You can see here, lines aren't exactly straight. I don't really care. This was my first kit. This was a learning kit. I enjoyed it. The next one I do, I will be more careful cutting out the stickers and placing them, and I'll be more careful with the paints. I'll have more experience using the paints, so it'll come out nicer. But sometimes you just have to accept something, blemishes and all, as it's my first try, and I like it. So that's kind of where I am with this. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna like it. Pock marks and all. I'm not gonna kill myself trying to redo it or punish myself because I made a mistake. That's not what this is about. I'm not trying to be perfect. I just want to have some fun. I will say that painting and stickering and all this took twice as long as building the kit and putting all the wires and everything else in. This is honestly where most of your time takes, and this is really why these kits aren't one-day projects. You need to have time set away for the paint to cure, time to set away to intricately trace and cut out your stickers with a sharp hobby knife, and take your time placing and being careful how you do this. But really, once you get the hang of that and you reach a point of satisfaction where you're just saying, I'm happy with it, it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. So, as I mentioned before, I did do one little cosmetic upgrade that we're going to try and show off here. As I turn everything on, I put underlighting on. This underlighting LED kit was really cheap. I saw it on Amazon, bought it on a whim. How effective it is in dark, a little bit better than obviously in the light. But what is it really? So if you look at the channel 4 here, I have this lead coming out, and it runs buried into this pile to a little board that has a Y split off leading underneath to connect to these. So I set up on channel 4, I set that up on channel 4, and on my transmitter, channel 4 is set to this button right here. So the way this works is with that board, I'm able to use the switch to turn on and off the underglow LEDs, which is, again, I went with blue since I have a blue body, figured keep it consistent, without having to set any other parameters up on the transmitter or anything else. The reason I left it off channel 3 is channel 3 is the gyro, which at the moment I'm not using, but it's so easy to turn the gyro on this transmitter or this receiver. You just click 3 times this little bind button within 1 second, and it automatically turns on. So that way, if I do want to use the gyro, I've left channel 3 open. I have a 4-channel radio, might as well use my 4 channels. So that's really it for this quick overview of what I've done and what the model was. So hopefully next, I'll just give you some good footage of it running around a nice flat parking lot, and I can kind of check out its performance. One caveat is, I did not go yet and spring for larger batteries, so I'm still using the smaller batteries from one of my other kits. And also, the ESC uses the Tamiya type connector. My batteries are Dean's T connectors, so I did have to go online and order a couple jumpers just to link them together, so that way I didn't have to cut and solder this wire, I didn't have to cut and solder this wire, I just used the jumper. Important thing to notice with the jumper, red, black, black. I read reports of some online that were reversed. Very, very bad, do not do that. Red in, red out, black in, black out, black in, black out, red in, red out. So you can see it's consistent across all the lines. Very, very important, but a very small thing to notice that you can easily overlook if you're in a rush or just not paying attention. Well, that's going to do it for this. And like I said, hopefully you'll get some nice footage of this thing running around the parking lot. All right, hey everybody, I'm out here at my favorite resurfaced parking lot. I've got the new Tamiya toy ready to run. Let's give it a whirl through here and see how she does. Ooh, did not like hitting that grade, I'll tell you that right off the bat. So tracking wise, turning to the left. So I need to adjust some trim on there. Decent speed though. I mean, I'd say speed comparable to the Bez 116, but this is a 110 size. She sounds wonderful. I mean, just no rattles, clanks, no weird gear sounds. Oh, that's not good. Look, you're gonna wreck it sometimes. You're gonna scratch it. This thing isn't, you know, it's a toy. Let's be honest. When we get down to it, these are toys. These are meant to be fun. Oh, caught a leaf in there. And if I scratch it up, I scratch it up. You know, it's not something I'm gonna sweat. Good range though, man. Golly, I like that range. Oh no. Oh shoot, that's not right. Shouldn't have done that. So again, I have a small battery in here. My run time's not going to be super great, but this is really my trial setup and my chance to really kind of let her stretch her legs, get warmed up. Golly, I like this thing. This is just a wonderful driving machine. Oh my gosh. I couldn't imagine it on like a properly made track. I'm sure, oh jeez. I'm sure there is one around near me. I don't know where since I'm relatively new to this. But just, once I get it dialed in, get the sub trim set right, I mean, just, she'll be running on rails. Oh man. Well, I already see that we're spending more money on some of these. Curious to see how the buggies do. Obviously, you can see I'm not a great driver, so whatever I build's gonna have to take a punch. But again, if I scratch up this body, I can just get a new Lexan body, get something different, maybe a different look, practice my painting some more, practice my stickering. That's part of the deal. Oh, takes a punch. I am really bad at this. us.